determine those properties.
So,
okay, Razor, curious. If Faith said God's properties are to be frozen and made of sugar and dairy products, would you take the conversation seriously?
Sure. I would.
You would?
Why wouldn't I?
Okay, so Face, prove ice cream exists, and you've turned Razor into a Christian. Go for it.
I just feel like he will just say I'm being dishonest.
Ice cream doesn't, just because you believe in ice cream doesn't mean you are a Christian, right?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, theist.
Unless you're saying Christianity is believing in ice cream.
You're right. Okay, Face, you can make Razor. You can make Razor a theist right now.
And I'm doing it. Those are the definitions, and I'm doing internal critique, then I would be a Christian.
Okay, so you can make Razor a theist right now.
But then, how would ice cream walk on water? That it seems to create tension in the worldview.
Because that's not what anybody's asking about when they ask about God, right?
I mean, the Christian God walked on water, so like, if it's ice cream, and that would just melt, like, surely it wouldn't,
right?
You know.
But obviously, he did that as a matter of contingency from him being like all powerful, right? So that's the property set. That's because once you get him on the metaphysic, he's just going to grant those things.
But then, surely I don't have to give an argument that ice cream exists, surely, to prove the Christian God exists. Surely not.
Ice cream is the Christian God.
Obviously, it's just a parody argument, right? But the point is that, look, he's saying prove God's properties and then give me the method. Okay, obviously the important thing there is the method, because the properties will be contingent upon the inferences made from the method. The method is going to be a deductive syllogism that's going to come in like some transcendental form. It's going to be like modus ponens, modus tollens. One of these, he's going to take issue with the soundness of one of those premises, and then you're going to have to inquire into his theory of truth. That's exactly what's going to happen, right? So, like, can we just get to that?
Yeah. So again, is who is battling me on what deduction is defined as? Because I pulled up Merriam-Webster and what they're talking about, the difference between deductive and inductive reasoning. And it says deduction is using widely accepted facts. So in order to use deductive reasoning, God, or at least God's properties, have to be widely accepted facts.
They are.
Well, but hold on.
They're not.
The problem.
They're literally not.
Hold on, just relax. Hold on, guys. When you say widely accepted facts, like I told you, when you say, well, such premise is not a fact, you're taking issue with the soundness of the premise here, right? It's not the validity of the argument, because presumably you take deductive arguments to be valid. You're saying that one of your premises is false.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to figure out. I'm just asking him to make his argument sound, right?
Well, because like when you say widely accepted, dude, look, you're actually going to be the one that's on the opposite end here. You would have to be the one that like provides some.
Okay,
because the premise. Just the premise that God exists. Hold on, please. Just let me finish. The premise that God exists is historically one of the most accepted propositions that exists, and that's an inductive. That's inductive. That's not like deductive, right? We can just do an analysis.
So there is. So no, God isn't widely accepted as a fact, right? The issue you're coming into is you're using.
What do you mean widely accepted?
You're equivocating the category God, right?
What doesn't matter
for each individual God, right? That's what you're trying to do. God isn't widely accepted fact, right? If God was a widely accepted fact, if God was a widely accepted fact, then almost everyone would believe in that one God. But they don't. We have many different gods from many different eras, thinking that with many different properties. In fact, the God category is so incoherent that when we have categories, that each time we say like this category, that they have a unifying property in them, and we don't have a unifying property from all gods. We don't have one. So the God category isn't widely accepted fact, right?
Of course, there's unifying for the monotheistic religions. That's a lot of people. There's more Abrahamics than there are atheists. There's more Hindus than there are atheists.
Exactly.
Right. And even if you divide the gods up, you're still in the minority.
Yeah. That's an inductive premise. That's an inductive conclusion. You have to accept that on your view. That is true. It is widely accepted as a fact. Now, if you want to disagree that it is in fact a fact, this is going to be an issue with the theory of truth. What's your theory of truth even? What's your understanding of justification? Right? Obviously, that's what the conversation for you is about. You just keep saying, it's not widely accepted, when on inductive reasoning, you're in the minority, dude. Not us.
How's it inductive reasoning from academic cognition? Like, how's it? Can you tell me?
What do you mean? What do you mean? How is it inductive? Because we're doing an analysis of the population. That's inductive.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but how can you fully explain that chain of reasoning? That's what I'm asking.
Fully to the conclusion. You want me to give you the syllogism?
Yes, I'm kind of yeah.
Okay, so look, we're reasoning to a general principle, right? The general principle being that God exists is a widely accepted, to invoke his language, widely accepted proposition. Okay, now the induction is obviously that the vast majority of people throughout mankind have believed that. That's not a presupposition. It is a widely accepted
fact.
Go on. I mean, that's not the interesting part to me. Can you guys end it? Because that's not interesting. Yeah, go on.
That's the argument from intuition, right? So if we use the argument from intuition, right? But that's a different point. But the point is that we can use inductive reasoning if we're going to talking to somebody who grants that to say, well, look, actually, God is a widely accepted premise inductively. You're the one on the opposite side of the intuition, not us. So when you say it's not widely...
when you say God, what do you mean?
Well, when I say God, I mean, look, that's not really relevant here. Okay?
It is very relevant.
If your point...
It is very relevant. Hold on a second. Hold on. It is very relevant
whatever Kevorkian means, you're still going to be in the minority.
You're equivocating the category for the thing itself.
Look, so the reason I'm saying it's
all
not
you're
relevant,
doing is making an equivocation fallacy. You're just equivocating
I'm not equivocating, dude. Just
the
relax.
thing itself and the category.
You have to relax, bro. You have to relax. Okay, look. So the point is that whatever people call God, okay, doesn't really matter particularly, because once you jump to well, what do you mean God is?
It does matter.
Hold on, just let me finish, dude. Seriously, stop. Okay? Because once you start saying, well, what is God? That's just going to be repeating the conversation that you and y'all were having, where somebody's going to give you some deductive argument, and you're going to disagree with the premise that God, is widely accepted, right? But we're using induction to demonstrate that there is this notion of God, or this notion of creation from a God, right? There is some first principle of creation that is a being that willed the creation of the world. Okay, everybody's going to have some slightly different adornment of that proposition, but that's the fundamental proposition. Okay, and on induction, okay, it is the case. It is the case that more people believe that than believe that it is not the case.
That is not how it works. That is equivocation fallacy.
That's a cope.
So again,
I defined it. I defined it.
I will show you why. Right? Is that when we say chair, right? Chairs are widely accepted fact, right? Because I can say what is a chair? Oh, you could point to a fucking chair. Chairs are a widely accepted fact. God is not a widely accepted fact, because when you say God, what the fuck do you mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Why are you acting like
you're justificating the category or the thing itself?
That's weird. Just let him talk. You're complaining that you're complaining he has to calm down, and you overtalk him. Come on.
You're acting like we didn't define the term. Okay, and you're sitting here harping on the point that I made, that people are going to adorn this fundamental proposition slightly differently, but that doesn't negate that they all affirm the fundamental proposition that there's some being that created the world.
Isn't this just an argument from ad populum? Does it appeal to population?
Well, hold on. That's how he defined what it takes for something to be a fact, isn't it? He said it has to be a widely accepted fact.
No, I did not.
Hold on.
I said a widely accepted fact.
Hold on, dude. Oh my God. No, you literally said widely accepted fact. Now, when we disagree that it's a fact, that's going to be different than it's a widely accepted fact, because there's there's a contingency of people. There's a larger contingency of people that take this proposition to be a fact than there is that take it to not be a fact.
But the proposition, in order for something to be a fact, the proposition has to correspond to reality, no?
Oh, theory of truth. Like I said, right? Obviously, that's the point of contention with you.
Okay, right? So when we say fact, right, we're not just appealing to ad populum just because a lot of people believe in this. Again, as you're equivocating the category God and the very thing itself, correct?
But now we see you're being... Because what does it have to do with anything? When obviously you're breaking up. The theory of truth, which
you're roboting. Kevorkian.
You're roboting. Again, is
this Kevorkian? Mic check. Can you hear me? Mic check. Am I roboting?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously, when you say widely accepted, that's not even relevant. Your contention is that it's a fact in the first place. Now, obviously, I told you, right, that somebody's going to make some deductive argument. You're going to disagree with the premise, right? And then you start talking all this widely accepted nonsense. Dude, when somebody says that God corresponds to, like, somebody's just going to say that God corresponds to reality. That's what they're going to say. So, what is the actual contention here, right?
Well, there's something that you're missing there. They can't just say that God corresponds to reality by definition because they're just defining it into existence, because it has to be confirmed independently. That's part of that criteria.
So you guys are like not presupposing, but you guys are obviously trying to act as if induction is the primary. Hold on, you guys are trying to act as if induction is a primary epistemology. It's not, right?
That's not at all what we're doing. That's not at all what we're doing.
No, that's what. Because hold on, when you say it needs to be affirmed or whatever, what do you mean? What do you mean?
It needs to be. You need to be able to confirm it independently. Otherwise, you cannot.
How?
In other words,
what I'm asking you. What do you mean?
Can I finish it? Can I finish this?
Just define confirmed independently. What does that mean? But look,
so if I can finish the thought, Kevorkian, if I can finish the thought. So just as we can independently confirm other things that correspond with reality, that's how we do.
I'm asking you, what do you? That's the question. What does that mean? What does that entail?
Confirm that it exists and it exists external of my mind?
I'm asking you, how do you independently confirm things? What does that process look like for you? What is that? Huh?
Well, there's this beautiful methodology that we've developed over the past, thousands of years that eliminates bias.
You're calling science? Are you saying?
Yeah, it's called a scientific methodology, methodological naturalism.
Hold on. Now, hold on. When I said that you're presuming that induction is the primary epistemology, I was correct. That's what you're doing.
No, it's not. Because that's the primary epistemology. No, because Kevorkian, that's where independent, blind testing through peer review comes through.
That's induction, Warren. Jesus Christ.
What?
And no, it's actually not, because it doesn't rely on assuming that the future will be like the past. What it is making a prediction, and then when the prediction comes true in the now, then it is confirmed. So we have to wait for the prediction to come true, which means it's now, which means we're not assuming that the future will look like the past. What we're doing is if the future does look like the past, then this will be the case. When that doesn't happen, when our predictions fail, that means that our interpretations were incorrect.
Yeah, that's induction.
What is the pattern? What is the pattern? You have to prove the pattern first. You have to prove the pattern. Have the conclusion. You could even bend the chain of induction. You have to realize what is the pattern recognition, right? So what does it mean? People believe in that thing. That pattern could be just people have that, that's how the brain works, and people have
that. That's induction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mind you, in virtue of this line of reasoning, you're actually cooked, right? Because you said that you reject the soundness of the proposition. You reject the soundness.
What soundness? What soundness?
God exists.
No, there's no soundness to that. There's no soundness to that. At best, you can get to validity.
Dude,
no, there is no. It's not a rejection, Kevorkian. It's not a rejection. Stop telling me what I'm doing.
Yeah,
stop acting like you have. Stop acting like you have access. Stop acting like you have access to my mental state. You don't.
Seriously,
Kevorkian. Stop putting words in my mouth. Stop putting words in my mouth and assuming that. Kevorkian, stop putting words in my mouth and assuming you have access to my mental states. I am not rejecting it. There is no soundness because it's not a rejection. It's not rejecting it. There is no soundness because you can't demonstrate it to be the case.
Why are you acting like I'm not saying you're rejecting the soundness?
You just said you just reject the soundness.
That's what I said. I know, and you. And then you said you rejected. No fucking shit.
So here's the
issue. Hold on. So please, if I can finish what I was saying, dude, before he interrupted me, if I can finish what I was saying, please. He interrupted me. Dude, why can't I finish what I was saying? Seriously, I'm not equivocating. I'm trying to actually complete the argument here.
You are literally...
Okay? So the point is that you reject the soundness of the proposition in the deductive argument that God is, or that, whatever, God is the case, right? You reject the soundness of any proposition that includes God in induction. Okay, now you just got smacked in the face with the problem of induction. Now what? How do you reject?
I'll show you. I'll show you your error. You want me to show you your error? Right? Let's use the most basic deductive argument. Right? Is all men are mortal. Socrates is a man, so deductively thinking, Socrates is mortal. Now, how do you demonstrate all men are mortal? Right? Oh, we do it inductively. Holy shit. And how do we determine if Socrates exists? Oh, we do it inductively. Holy shit. So inductively,
dude, I don't disagree that you're using induction.
Induction. It's a deductive, it is a deductive argument, but it is using induction to make the deduction sound.
What?
What?
Yeah, hold on, dude.
You don't simply use deduction. You use it in conjunction with inductive method when you're trying to figure out what the facts of the world are. Induction.
Hold on. You're either going to be saying that. Look, I'm not going to disagree that there's an order of.
In order to accept the premises,
dude,
we use
oh my god, bro! Every time I start talking, bro, just relax. Look, so whoever said soundness is a property of arguments, I don't disagree with that, right? So when I'm saying they're rejecting the soundness of the arguments, it's in virtue of a theory of truth. Okay, now hold on, just relax, okay? Because you take truth to be inductive, but you're acting as if the problem of induction has ever been solved. It's not. There's no solving the problem of induction.
Right, so but it can't be accounted for.
You can't use. Hold on. You can't.
It can be accounted for.
Hold on, dude. Stop. You cannot use induction to Jesus Christ, dude. You can't use induction to dismiss this premise. Because you're just going to have to trivially grant that in virtue of you being a fallible being, that it could actually be the case. You're going to say there's some probability that it's the case.
Well, depending on but not necessarily, right? It is not necessarily, right?
Trivial.
When you say God, right? It depends on the properties, because if you agree that if the properties result into a paradox or a contradiction, you would agree that thing could not exist, just logically.
Yeah. You're not actually addressing what I'm saying. You're trying to go back to block.
No. I'm just showing you
is that you cannot use induction to dismiss any particular proposition on your view with certitude. Okay, so when you say that it's not the case that proposition, when you say that it's not the case, when you say that it is not the case, okay, you're only going to be saying that in a probabilistic manner.
That's not problematic. That's not problematic because we can discern something to be probabilistic to a degree that certitude is virtually guaranteed. It would be irrational to dismiss it unless you had evidence to justify that dismissal or that challenge.
Probabilistic.
Okay, it's probably it doesn't matter.
Sorry.
It doesn't matter.
Guys,
it doesn't matter. This is classic Wittgenstein.
Fine.
Okay, it doesn't have to be absolute. Probabilistic is just fine.
Yeah, no, so this is fine, right? But this is just you not understanding induction, right? So it's like I don't know what to tell you at this point, right? You guys are overestimating. You guys are overestimating the epistemic weight of induction, right?
Yeah, when a premise starts out with like what you're trying to conclude, what is that called?
You can just plug it into a transcendental, right? It doesn't matter. They're just going to make a transcendental. I'm not even making the argument.
You're just asserting.
I'm just saying. I'm just doing.
You're just asserting.
No, I'm doing it. Hold on, dude. Relax, bro.
Over and over
I'm saying it can. You can plug any argument in here. I'm trying to explain to you that look, face of Yah here is going to be using some deductive argument, and you're going to disagree with the soundness of the.
You're breaking up.
You invoked the core. Okay, so you invoked chorus theory of truth. You're going to disagree with the sound deductive argument in virtue of a premise being false. You grant the premise in virtue of correspondence theory of truth, which you use induction to determine what is true. Correct? That's how far we've gotten.
No, not only induction.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you can use.
Yeah, but in this specific case. Internally in this case,
no,
and inductive.
Nope.
Yes.
I don't know when he says this God thing.
Okay,
I don't know what he means.
J.L. Warren.
No one can understand you. You're just breaking up.
I defined. Here, hold on. Let me rejoin.
So when would you agree that all men are mortal, Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal? Is that a deductive argument?
I don't know why you're asking me about deduction here. Okay.
No, would you agree that is a deductive argument?
Yes, reasoning from general principles to particulars is going to be deductive, but that's just not relevant here. Okay, it's not relevant. I'm actually trying to walk you through the argument at hand, and then your dismissal of the argument as being sound. Your dismissal of the argument as being sound is not in virtue of induction, dude. Now, you didn't say that. You didn't say that. J.L. Warren said it. J.L. Warren said it.
Why can I walk you through this?
If you disagree with J.L. Warren, say that. Because J.L. Warren certainly said it's in virtue of deduction, or induction rather, and Discernible can back me up on that, and whoever else is fucking listening can back me up on that. That is what was said.
In this case, it might be the case, right? But we got to know what is meant by this God thing, right?
We defined it.
I don't.
Stop doing that.
Not hearing it. What is God is defined as?
Oh my God!
God is that which is ultimate,
hopeless,
absolute, unconditionally non-dependent, non-contingent, non-derivative.
Couldn't that just be like a single rock?
How do you fucking determine those things? Right? That's fucking
in
weird.
Virtue of deduction, you dummy! Oh my God!
In virtue of deduction, that's how you.
That's going to be the position. That's going to be the position. Okay, that's the position.
In virtue of what deductive argument? You would have to have a deductive argument to accept God in the first place. So what is the deductive argument for God in the first place, or God, those properties?
Yeah. You can use a modus ponens or a modus tollens or whatever, right? A transcendental argument, any type of argument. I know you're aware of a transcendental argument.
Yeah, all those arguments suck though.
Yeah, but like I said, now we're going to start talking about theories of truth, and I hate this that we have to keep going in circles with you guys.
Truth is that which corresponds to reality.
Right. Okay, so you are very clearly familiar. You're very clearly familiar with the issue of induction, so there's no way that you're going to dismiss with certitude the soundness of any given argument in virtue of induction. You sound dumb.
Well, actually, you can. You just lower your.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, it would just lower the credence. It would just lower the credence below a certain threshold, and by dismiss an argument, you just mean that the credence is so low that it's not like worth entertaining. Yeah, I think you can do that with induction.
What you just said is compatible with what Kevorkian said.
Yeah, like I said,
it's compatible with what Kevorkian said.
So.
Yeah, no one cares about certitude, but what matters is the capability to dismiss the idea with like rational basis, with like credence levels and that sort of thing, not certitude.
Yeah, well, deductive reasoning is based on widely accepted facts. How do you actually
get? How do you actually went through that?
Holy fuck, Kevorkian! I thought you were done. It's like you complain about.
I want to respond.
You complain about
to what the lady just said.
You literally complain about people interrupting you.
Yeah, I know.
But yet you just jump in and interrupt people.
We already went over right. We already went over the widely accepted
and it's
thing.
Fucking retarded, and you're actively working towards retardation. You're actively working towards it.
Yeah, I don't care that you have this rhetoric, nice, but in virtue, and just to reference what the lady said, that you don't care about certitude. So if you don't have certitude, when you say that,
what
this is going
certitude?
to entail
Just literally a state of mind that somebody has. Who gives a fuck what the state of mind is?
Hold on. So when you invoke certitude or lacking certitude, you're going to necessarily be speaking probabilistically. Now, I don't care how super astronomically small you want to say the probability of such and such proposition is, you're going to concede that there is a probability that it is the case.
Wait a second. So let's just say this. Let's just
not
say
necessarily.
This. Let's just say this, right? Let's just say, do you think it's possible that you're in a dream right now and you never woke up, Kevorkian?
Do I think it's possible that I'm in a dream?
Yeah, everything for the past however many years you've lived is actually just a dream, and like this is just dream world.
I don't see the relevance of this.
Yeah, is that possible? Yes or no?
Hold on. We're trying to do a critique.
Wait, yeah, I'm pointing out how the probability does matter. I'm pointing out how the probability does matter.
No, you're not.
Answer the question. Is it possible that everything that you've experienced so far in this relevant world is actually in a dream?
This is a two-quote.
Okay, Kevorkian, instead of dodging, how about you just follow his line of inquiry?
I'm not dodging. This is a two-quote fallacy. My understanding of what's possible and not possible isn't relevant.
Yeah, it is. It is relevant.
No, it's not.
Well, Kevorkian, how about you stop assuming where he's going to go with it, and you just follow his line of inquiry to find out what happens? I'm telling you that
it's not. My understanding of what's possible and impossible is not.
Yeah, we're
relevant.
not getting. Yeah, I just asked you if it's possible.
Can we have one discussion that doesn't end up in Cartesian skepticism?
Just one. Possible or probable, like that. It doesn't depend on human beings.
No, I'm saying that it's not relevant to the argument. To the critique at hand.
It's extremely relevant to the argument.
Critique at hand. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. I'll just explain how it literally is. I'll just explain. I'll just debunk everything he said. Right. So the point that I was giving is that he said earlier that the probability doesn't matter as long as it's possible. There's like something going on here.
What do you mean?
Then I was just going to ask. That is what you said.
So do you want me to repeat myself?
You said probability doesn't matter.
If you don't hold to certitude as an epistemological tool, okay, what is the entailment of that is that you're going to grant probabilities to propositions being the case and not being the case. And then I said, I don't care how super astronomically small you would like to make the possibility of the proposition, God being the case, is you're going to concede that there's a probability that it is the case.
Well, no, the probability is relevant, and the point of that, the reason why I'm bringing up the probability is relevant. Well, there's two things, Fred. Number one, you're wrong. People can use probability-based reasoning.
Dude.
Yeah, you don't even know the critique, moron. So stop speaking. So anyway, number one, you're wrong.
You're dumb. You're actually
I said
dumb,
you're wrong, and you didn't even hear why I'm saying you're wrong to even like engage with anything.
Well, because what I'm saying is true. You don't know what you're talking about. What I'm saying is trivially true.
I'll explain how you're wrong. I'll explain how you're wrong. So it's
and
not
I don't know why I need to sit here. And I don't know why I need to sit here and listen to you.
Let you speak, buddy. Let you speak, buddy.
Because it's weird that you want everyone to listen to you and not overtalk you, but then you have zero.
He's doing it right now.
About the same thing. You have zero issue at doing it to other people.
Razor.
Why don't you actually follow what you said? Because what you're doing is you're doing a performative hypocrisy here. Right?
Yeah,
that's your
hypocrisy
issue.
Is not possible.
You're doing a
but the problem is
hypocrisy is not possible. This guy's so
the problem. Fuck up and fucking engage.
is that if you don't hold to certitude as an epistemological tool, I don't know why it's just
what I'm saying. I cannot do it anymore.
Listen, I'll just finish with what I was saying, right? So what I said was what this guy's not saying is trivially true, because you can use probability-based reasoning even if you don't hold to certitude, or even if you do hold to certitude. So just bringing that up is irrelevant. The point here is that the probability that something is the case is actually completely irrelevant, because we're not going to say that we have like a 0.1% chance of having X, or 0.0001% chance of having X, and then this guy's will like, oh well, it's still possible, right? No one cares that you can say that there's a small chance of something happening, some insignificant chance. What we care about is what's probably happening, or what's probably going to happen, right? So when you say, well, yeah, you can make the credence of God so low that it's insignificant, you're at least saying that God's possible. Yeah, most atheists would say that like some rendition of God is possible, but that's just not relevant.